Rifled with a Merlin. I need a longer barrel, so we'll go fast with a longer barrel. What do I got? But this is rifled, so this is good. Not bad, but it will definitely be better with a longer barrel without having to go through rifling. This is really short for what it is, but this at least tells me, yeah, definite improvement. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. Now, let's take this apart, and I'll show you the internals on it. Okay, so what did I do to get it up to 250 feet per second? And believe me, we're not done with this yet, because this barrel is way too short. I mean, this is a Merlin attachment, which for pistols doesn't really speed it up that much. As a matter of fact, slows it down. But this is just a really short barrel, as you can see. I mean, we're talking... How long is this barrel anyway? Oh gosh. 6 inches. So I'm only dealing with like 6 inches of brass right now, when I really need 9 or 8 if I'm going to be running with one of these. So yeah, that is really suboptimal for what it is, and too short a barrel. It just makes the exit pressure wrong, everything else. However, it gives me an idea that yeah, that's an improvement, and even with too short of a barrel. So it was about 37 cc's before. It's now 50 cc's now. And now let me show you what I did to this to get this up to code. And do put in mind I'm one-handing this. Okay, so number one, I had to wait for this whole thing to dry right here. Okay, so basically what this is this is a coupler, and it is shortened so that you can move this whole thing up to about here. Now I had to grind this down like I explained in the last video. I had to grind this area so it's flat, so that the plunger tube actually now rests right here. But as you can see, I had to do some adjustments. I had to make this shorter to accommodate for this being moved up farther. As for this centers just fine. This part centers it just great. This has to be glued or else this moves back and forward, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so there it is, the Fenland Labs coupler. There it is, bored out a little bit, but it's also glued with Go-To glue. I can undo it if I wanted to, but for this case, I want to get this where it is. I can shoot HIRs out of here. I'm doing about 150 with the HIRs, which is pretty good. I'll probably get faster because this is like really dirty on the inside right now, so I got to clean it up a little bit. I just got done gluing this. And then I put a little dab of Go-To glue in here, which is like silicone. And what it does is it keeps the air from going past this. I noticed I had a lot of problems with going past that. That is a 18K Explorer spring cut to about cut to 12 coils. And then you'll notice that there's a second notch there. You guys see it? Yeah. So what I did there is I basically cut this with a Dremel, sanded it with a flat file, and then I got rid of these square parts on the very ends right here. So what happens is that this catch is resting back here on this rib right there. Right. So right now, suboptimal. And I remember when I had done this with the other one, and I didn't have the long barrel. I had the one from the Big Shock, which was about 6 inches long. I got about 205, 210 until I went with that long suppressor piece that had the 9-inch barrel. And then I got up to 240. So this is doing 215 with a little bit of a longer barrel on a Merlin. I have some really good hopes for this. This looks really fantastic. I'm going to drive another screw through here. Now, what can be done to avoid this big mess right here? Well, here's what you can do. In the same quality that you printed this inside part, you can make a plunger head fit this ring and move this up about a 1/4 inch. That way you can fit 1-inch springs. That would be a big help, okay? So instead of putting this notch in, the idea is to make the base of the plunger head longer. So if it's about there, and you use the normal notch, that's honestly Fenland Nerfworks. That's how I would do it. Right there is I would do it as such, and then I would have these guides and everything. So basically, you just have the head with this. You have this section. It's moved 1/4 inch, and then over. And I would have it so it would fit 7/8 springs like this. You can also make this one big channel if this is just too thin to print. You can make this one big channel where it's just that size on the inside, which is about let's see here. It is about, burn an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So this is 3/4 of an inch here. I'm working in inches, sorry. I don't really work in millimeters. But yeah, if you made this 3/4 around, they made it taper to here, made this snap into here, and make it so that the modder can rip this out and then glue in another one by either super glue or filling this with epoxy. That would work. That would work. And then you pad the front with like 1 1/4 inch pad on the front, and then they would just crazy glue in the front. That could be done. But as you see, I'm not breaking this head at all, and this is just a stock head. No padding at all. Okay. Also, moving it up makes it so that the impact on this is softer, because you're no longer confining this to less than 2 inches. You're moving this to 2.5 inches, so it has more travel. So it will be definitely more durable. But that's how I would do it there. Here, yeah, you're going to need glue. There's no way around it. You could possibly put an O-ring on the front of this and push this so. But let me real quick get you the dimensions of this part, because it is shorter. So if you were to 3D print, here's an idea. If you were to 3D print this part, and put in mind that you've got space around here, you see that? So you can make this eyelet just a little wider, so it will be, you could print it. Also, you can make this eyelet thicker, like that, okay? Don't make it thicker on this side, but this side, fine. So that would make it so this won't break off. You won't have this little finicky piece that breaks off when you print. You just make it thicker and slightly wider this way, and that will do it. This piece from the base, let me burn an inch here. From the base on there is, yeah, you see it right there. And from the very back, it's just shy of 3 inches. I mean, just shy of 3 inches. So essentially, you know, let's burn an inch, because we all know, yep, just shy, and I mean just shy of 3 inches right there, right here. That from this base to here. This right here would be from here to here. Yeah. You gotta, so about 2 and 3/8. Yeah, 2 and 3/8 between here and here. So if you were to print a custom piece like that and then that, yes, it does bring up the price of it, but the benefits are very simple. You've got something that can fit in a Hotshock that you can put like an Artifact 14 or something else that's 1 inch travel, like a Worker Chrono Spring 18K in there. Yeah, it can be done. This is strong enough to hold this, and this catch spring is strong enough to hold this, so you don't have to worry about this. And the way I did it, I kept this intact. But you can just basically just move that whole thing up. Yeah, make a new plunge head to move it up, and you'll be fine. So that's how to do it right there. And then the coupler on the inside. Let me take the piece of, oh, by the way, yeah, I did use a piece of tape here. That right there is about, yeah, 3/4 in diameter as well. Okay, to fit inside of this. All right, but yeah, there's the coupler right there. I did glue it on the front. You don't have to, but if you were to make this snug on the inside and work from the back so that you can just pop this whole thing on there, or even better yet, build this into here and make that 9/16 inside. Wow, yeah, you would really have something really, really great. But dude, look at all that power, and this is still intact. It's still intact. It works very good. Did an excellent job designing this, but you could have seriously 200 plus feet per second blasters out of this by simply making an adapter that adapts that piece of brass with a little adapter there, and then this. Okay, people pay a lot of money and spend a lot of time doing this. If you were to make a kit like this for 40, 50 bucks and it worked, oh gosh, people would love you. They would love you. Okay, you do have to pop off the, but that's just by rivet. You just pop off the rivets. And also, if you're putting in a new piece anyway and that just snaps off, you don't really have to worry about this head. And then I would make it speed seal here, and I'll speed seal. Let me show you how speed seal works, because I use this on the Alpha kit as well. It starts low here. Okay, let me focus that, and then it tapers up to your neck diameter. So what happens is the air enters into this, and this doesn't have to be a hole. You can make this like a notch, and it takes the air from the pressure and it bows out your O-ring. So what it does is it catches the inside of this. Go-to glue works, silicone glue would work. Also, just crazy glue would work, to be honest with you. I use go-to glue because I like go-to glue because I like go-to glue. It has that sealing properties, that a lot of very good shock properties, vibration properties. It makes it more accurate to use something that's softer but yet holds. And yeah, so this is very possible to do. I really feel that it is, especially if this base is a circle instead of a cross. You had padding up here that can be stuck on here, and then just snaps into this. A little more work, but you're talking, you got something that can shoot the 200s, man. I mean, it can be done. I'm pretty sure with an artifact spring, if this is glued in, artifact 14, you're probably talking 200 feet per second with these modifications. So one more thing before I leave and do the next owl ranch. One more thing. This back here, you can see how that's small and that's really tiny. Now, what can be done here, and on the third episode I'm going to have it because I got to run to the hardware store to get hardware to do this. But this is a little tight, like it's a little tough to get. However, if this spread it out here, this could work very well. It has a post, it doesn't go through. Yeah, this kit would definitely be some tools and assembly required. Essentially, you can either make a 3D printed thing that goes right to here. That exactly, once you have it all made, everything, make it that exact space there, which is kind of what the Bird of Prey does, is it uses the back as a stop. So not only is it stopping at the plunger, stopping there, but that's not really required. You could do that and make it so the whole thing snaps in here and then goes together with two screws around here and here, and then you have a hook that goes wider there or travels back. Or you could drill this and put in a screw going across here and use some turnbuckle ties and do something like that, which I'm going to do on this one because I'm not the 3D printer at all. But that's the other thing that it needs. It needs another hook, and preferably one that's not too heavy, because if it's too heavy it's going to drag the speed down quite a bit. But you can sell it separately or with the kit, and that would do it. But as you can see, it's just very thin and very small for that kind of yield. And plus, it would be nice to make something that's a little more comfortable in the back. So until next time, this is Chris CARTAYA saying don't you go changing, or I'll find you. Pachoo, pachoo, pachoo.